Something that isn't exactly a narrative, but more of a concept that gets widely accepted is that great cameras become obsolete when newer versions of them are released. For some reason, so many filmmakers on YouTube will convince themselves that if the camera they own isn't the current model, then it's somehow not good enough. Today, I want to talk about a slightly older camera that I believe stood the test of time, and in my opinion is one of the best deals for aspiring filmmakers that want to launch their career but don't have a massive budget for gear. A camera that made its way into the hands of almost everyone, from cinematographers, daily vloggers, lifestyle influencers, wedding videographers, etc., was the Panasonic Lumix GH5. This camera appealed to so many because of its huge set of features and its price tag. Some of the standout features were 60 frames per second at 4K, amazing IBIS, 10-bit 422 internal 4K, Vlog-L, open gate recording, and great battery life. There are still plenty of filmmakers that I know to this day that utilize the GH5 for their work. The crazy thing about this camera is that not only does the image still hold up 7 years later, the camera can be had for around $600 in the used market, which leaves you plenty of room for lenses and audio gear if you're putting together a camera kit as a filmmaker. The thing about the GH5 is that the image doesn't look 7 years old. It looks just as good as a lot of modern day cameras. The only thing you'll find lacking in the GH5 in 2024 is the autofocus and the low light performance. But if that scares you off, I'd like to remind you that I built my entire YouTube channel off the back of a Panasonic GH3, which has worse autofocus and worse low light performance. So I don't like using those as excuses to make good content. The image is detailed and the colors are great. The 10-bit codec coming out of the GH5 is beautiful, and pairing it with a Ninja 5, you can get even better images out of this camera, if the project requires it. I bought this camera in 2024 because I needed a good B cam to my S5 IIX. The nice thing is that using this camera is very familiar to me. As most of you know, I was probably the biggest GH3 fan ever, and everything about Lumix cameras just makes sense to me. I've never found myself fumbling around with menus trying to figure something out. The GH5 can make a perfect complementary camera if you need something cheap but powerful. The body is right between the size of a S5 II and a GH4, which I personally think is perfect. Real quick, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Audio. Audio is a music and sound effects licensing site with thousands of amazing artists and tracks to choose from. One of my favorite features about Audio is their Link Match AI feature. This allows you to paste a link from any song into Audio, and it'll recommend similar sounding songs to choose from. I use this all the time, and I specifically use this feature for this video. This is something that I've always been waiting for in a music licensing site, and I'm really stoked that it's a feature in the Audio Pro subscription. Speaking of that, the fine people over at Audio are giving my viewers a huge discount on an Audio Pro subscription. So use the code NIGEL70 for 70% off of an Audio Pro subscription and get access to amazing music and sound effects for your videos. Once again, big thanks to Audio for sponsoring this video. The one downside about this camera is that it doesn't come preloaded with Vlog-L. At least it didn't in 2017. If you buy this camera used, sometimes it will come with it, but if not, you have to order a physical package with the code to install it on this camera. Okay, so after a little while waiting, I finally got this, and this is Vlog-L. You have to order it. You can still get it on Amazon and basically order it, and this is the code that you install Vlog-L onto your GH5. Very 2018. Most Lumix cameras that are coming out nowadays have Vlog or Vlog-L installed, so you don't have to pay for it. It is an extra $97, which is pretty crazy, but it adds a lot of functionality to the GH5. It comes with a how-to instruction manual, but I'm probably just going to go on YouTube and follow a tutorial there. V-Log L is going to give me a bit more dynamic range. I think the usable dynamic range off of the GH5 is like 12 stops, which is pretty good, especially considering that this shoots in 10-bit. You get really nice colors and a bunch of different codecs and frame rates. So yeah, I'm going to go install V-Log L and then I'll be able to use it on my GH5. V-Log L is a light version of V-Log, but has very similar color characteristics. I've found that the same LUTs I use on my S5 IIX footage can be used on my GH5 footage with very little tweaking. Many of you have reached out and asked me about my switch from Micro Four Thirds to full frame, and asked if it's worth it. My response is usually that I haven't switched. I still love Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I use both for different applications. I find that there are still advantages with the Micro Four Thirds system when it comes to lens size, image stabilization, and rolling shutter. I love the amount of lenses, and more so the amount of affordable native lenses that are available for this system. I personally don't see Lumix full-frame cameras as a replacement, but more of an addition to my kit. There are some projects that I'll prefer a Micro Four Thirds camera on, and some a full frame. Some of my favorite things about this camera is the amazing 1080p quality, the 180 frames per second, open gate 4x3 recording, which is great for social media cropping. The body size is great, and finally, all of the codec options that are available for this older camera. The GH5 is undoubtedly a legendary camera that has made it into the hands of YouTubers and cinematographers alike. And like I said in the beginning of this video, the fact that it's been out for several years doesn't negate its effectiveness. 10 years from now, you'll still be able to look back on work shot with the GH5 and it'll look great. I believe that the Panasonic GH5 will continue to be a great option for budget filmmakers for years to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, big thanks to Audio for sponsoring this video. You can check out some more of my videos here on the screen, and I'll see you all next time. Later.